So Dice thought it was a good idea to pleasure your ears with the cries of the Trench Raider. Every time he swings this mace, he lets out a yell, a moan, a grunt of sorts. And it can be highly arousing, and initially I thought this was just some sort of bug or error. People were making fun of it, but I found out that it had a purpose, and it basically acts as a thunderstorm. As the thunder gets louder and louder, you know it's getting closer and closer. The same thing rings true with the Trench Raider, but instead of lightning, you get a big old metal toilet brush to the face. So consider it a warning. When you start hearing all of those grunts and moans, no, it's not your parents watching the Wimbledon Championships in the other room. That's Negan cutting through your friends, and you are next. So if I'm being honest, I am terrified to deal with the Trench Raider. There's not really much you can do about it unless you combo team fire him down or manage to get a bayonet, which is my recommended course of action. Now, on the other hand, when you get to use it, it's so much fun. It's awesome. Homicide has never been this cool, and I like it a lot. I would definitely recommend you guys to try this thing out. I don't think I've ever had this much fun. Ever. In a Battlefield game. You get to play stealthy. It's kind of like Genji on steroids. You just get to run around and hack at people. And you can heal up, you can use smoke to your advantage, use grenades. You have a very strong kit available to you. Translation, every Trench Raider is a top 5 clip submission. It's just very dominant. So now let's talk about the good, the bad, and the me of They Shall Not Pass. Honestly, one of the most influential DLCs to date. I would definitely recommend this to my friends, if I had any, to buy. It's really, really going to help you. The Reverola is a really good gun to add to the assault kit. It gives a medium range lethality, something that has not been offered to the kit so far, and this is something that it was desperately starved of. And I'm really happy with that. The Show, the Lebel, all of which are decent weapons in the game, and of course some interesting changes with the maps, but I'm here to talk about basically what was added. People tend to forget that's what the DLC is all about, not necessarily the state of the game, not how they've messed with grenade spam or anything like that. That's base game changes. That's patches. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm talking about what the actual content that was given to us is going to do for the game itself, and that is basically the delivery of maps and weapons. So let's start with the guns first. If I'm being honest, they're all just a little bit above meta, none of which you're going to take to prom. They're not going to get their own presets if you follow me. Some of them stand out like the RSC and the Show. They have a unique type of damage output with a slower rate of fire, making them very dangerous in an accurate player's hands, but they're not going to be top of the meta. The only one that really truly stands out as unique is the new assault class weapon, and that is the Reverola, aka the McRib. This gun is interesting because it gives you a medium range threat. This is a unique opportunity that the class has not had before. Up until now, you basically have had a wide variety of shotguns and SMGs. Now you have a carbine basically allowing you to fight in the realm that supports and medics have since dominated the assault class. And this is highly exciting. This changes the game. And it may not do that well against other SMGs now, you're forfeiting that advantage, but it does have a bipod, making it a bit more reliable at distance, unlike any of the others in the kit, and of course it's really strong to counter medics and Madsons and stuff. This is a really exciting thing, so it's probably the most valuable to come from the DLC. As for the Lebel and the Inertial, none of them are actually winning any awards. I feel like they're bottom of the class compared to the rest of the options out there. As for the maps, this is where the DLC truly shines. This is where they outdid themselves. I'm normally excited to have one map that I like out of 4 when a DLC comes along. They've added about 2 or 3 that I thoroughly enjoy, and this is some pretty exciting material. Now starting off with number 1, Operation Vo. Just bravo. This was a brilliantly designed map. Now, not that I'm against a little bit of fun hectic action on Operation Metro or Locker. They were just a little too hectic for my taste, and it didn't feel like a Battlefield game. It was just a long linear map where you guys kind of clashed at the middle, and then it kind of turned into a TDM. Not very exciting. Now, they capture that intensity in that close quarter combat in this map. There's still choke points, funnel areas, and it can still get as crazy as those maps were without all the sloppiness. You can still flank, you can rotate around the outside. There are all kinds of different narrow hallways and corridors at which you can fumble through. Basically, Conquest has created a circular close quarters map so that there's a nice healthy flow and circulation through players throughout the map, and they've done a really good job with this one. Next map on the list, oh god, if getting killed by planes is your kink, we're going to be talking about Rupture. I haven't played Breath of the Wild since day 2 or 3. Like, nah, fuck this ugly dude. Feels bad, man. Oh my god! This one is very interesting in the way that it's either going to end in a stalemate or a crazy-ass spawn trap. The whole thing just kind of plays out like a Kentucky rivalry where one family's on one side and another's on the other and they just yell and shoot at each other the whole time. Yeah, that could use a little work. Third up to bat is Verdun Heights. This one is a very confusing map for me. It's really well built, there's some issues with it, and I think it's basically the behavior of the community that pretty much bring out the flaws in the map. Now, when it goes well, it goes well. When it goes bad, it goes bad. Didn't see that coming. Truthfully, I'd say at least half the matches that I play on this for Conquest end up in some sort of awkward state where nobody really wants to progress on either team. They're basically the first team to cap C will hold C throughout the rest of the game. There's so many hills and nooks and crannies and trenches for people to hide in and a lot of elevation that people will do exactly that. They will sit back and they will shoot and try to pick people off instead of actually pushing because that means danger. And you can't really fault them too much for it, and it's kind of a sad reality behind it because it's a really cool map. And I really like it for frontline. Conquest could just probably use a little bit of work. And oh baby, we saved the best for last. Swisson, one of the most interesting maps that they have ever developed. This one really piques to my interest because it's kind of like every area and every objective in Conquest is like a different type of warfare. It's like a warfare buffet. You've got one area that's basically a little city, you have one area that's a large building that you fight over, one's at the top of a hill inside a bowl, another's in the trenches. There's just so many different areas in this map. It makes it really exciting. And one thing it's really lacking right now though is armor. There's not enough armor on the map. I think that each side should probably get about 2 more heavy tanks and maybe a fortress cannon or 2. But that's just my personal opinion. I think with the lack of armor on the map, it's really hard to see the potential of it. It's kind of clouding the vision of everybody. And I think if people were to sit down and think, oh hey, yeah, this would be much better with this many more tanks, then everybody would be happy and finally discover that this is really a gem. It's a really nice map, and I think it's well engineered and probably one of the best ones in the future when they do improve upon it. So that is my opinion. The only other thing from the DLC that I can honestly speak on would be the Char 2C, the new behemoth. And it's not really any different. It moves around off a track. And to be honest, it's the only one that's kind of avoidable. I get killed by all the other behemoths every time they're around, with the exception of the Dreadnought as long as I stay away from water. It's kind of cool. So if I feel like taking it on and I'm the right class for it, yeah, let's go, bro. Otherwise, nope. And now that I think about it, I have one more thing to talk about. The progression system. DICE, please, listen to me. You need to figure something out. There needs to be scaling, there needs to be ways to progress, things to aim for. I am already max rank. Again. It's been 3 days. Please. Please. Do something about this. So thanks for watching, guys. Forget to subscribe and be sure to pass on liking the video. Thanks again. You have a great night. I'll catch you with another video in a few days.